I've been following the West Virginia Mountaineers since my freshman year in 2011. Since that time, there's been amazing plays made by incredible players. In this video, I count down the top 10 plays of the West Virginia Mountaineers since that time. So at number 10, we have Bryce Ford Wheaton's catch versus Iowa State. The year before this game, West Virginia got absolutely smoked by the Cyclones. This time, though, they found a way to win the game. And one of the biggest reasons was this catch here. The presence of mind to drag his foot and to come down with a touchdown was incredible. Bryce Ford Wheaton was a great player. He now plays for the New York Giants. So this is definitely a good play to start off our list. At number 9, we have Shelton Gibson's catch versus the Kansas State Wildcats. If you remember, West Virginia had a very tough time beating Kansas State since joining the Big 12. Up to this point, they had not beaten Kansas State. Before this catch, West Virginia was trailing, and then Shelton Gibson made an amazing play. The crowd definitely got into it, and I feel like after this catch, it really turned the game. So he did it against a very good corner in DJ Reed. Shelton Gibson, another great player who played in the NFL for the Philadelphia Eagles. I would have loved to see what he could have done with Will Greer with one more year at West Virginia, but he definitely made his time worth it at West Virginia, and you can see it by this catch. So, number 9, Shelton Gibson's catch versus Kansas State. At number 8, we have Kevin White's catch versus Maryland. Kevin White caught the ball and made defenders look absolutely silly on his way to the end zone. Kevin White had so many incredible plays his senior season. You think back to the one-handed catch versus Baylor, when he mossed someone in the end zone against Alabama, but I chose this one because of how explosive he was, and it really shows what type of player he was. It also helps that Josh Lambert kicked a game-winning field goal to send West Virginia home with a win versus rival Maryland. So, number 8, Kevin White's touchdown versus Maryland. At number 7, we have Tavon Austin's catch versus Texas. This was a 4th and 4. It was early in the game, and it set the tone for the game. Mac Brown said after the game that Tavon Austin was one of the best players he'd ever seen. That's a huge compliment coming from a coach like him. Obviously, Tavon Austin is someone that Mountaineer fans love. Again, he's like Kevin White, where he made an incredible amount of plays, but the one that was my favorite was this one versus Texas. Anytime we beat the Texas Longhorns, it's a great memory. It's a great day to be a Mountaineer. So this one definitely stood out to me at number 7. At number 6, we have Stedman Bailey's catch versus USF. This was the last game in the Big East era for West Virginia. He made us go to the Orange Bowl with this catch. West Virginia had to go on a run in November in that season where they had to beat Cincinnati, Pitt, and USF, and West Virginia swept all three, and it was in big part to this catch by Stedman Bailey. At number 5, we have Darwin Cook's Orange Bowl touchdown. He had a 99-yard strip return touchdown, and the place went nuts. It changed the game. At this point in the game, Clemson was going in for the lead. Then Darwin Cook makes a play, goes 99 yards, and Clemson never rebounded. West Virginia went on to score 70 points, which people will remember forever. In my opinion, since I've been following the team, this was the high point of being a West Virginia Mountaineer fan. People will always remember Darwin Cook, and they'll always remember this play. It was a great night to be a Mountaineer. At number 4, we have J.D. Woods' one-handed grab versus Baylor. This game was insane. 70-63. It was the first Big 12 game. It was a stripe the stadium game. And at the end of that game, J.D. Woods made a play that everyone's going to remember. J.D. Woods was an extremely underrated player. He caught over 60 balls his senior year, and he made plays like this. So if there was a play that stood out in that game, it was J.D. Woods' one-handed catch. At number 3, we have Mario Alfred's game-winning catch versus Baylor. This sealed the deal. This was Dana Holgerson's biggest win, in my opinion. It kept Baylor out of the college football playoff. Baylor that year had one loss, and it was to West Virginia, which ultimately sunk their fate. They did not make the playoff. West Virginia was buzzing this game. It was the last time that we beat a top 5 opponent. I really hope that we can get back to beating top 5 opponents again. So, Mario Alfred, that clinching win, I'll never forget that play. At number 2, I have Mario Alford's kick return versus Alabama. Funny story about this one. So In 2014, I was covering the team for U92, and I had a press pass for this game in the Georgia Dome. And I was sitting in the press box when this happened. And if you don't know anything about press boxes, you're not allowed to cheer for the team that you're covering. So I'm still a big West Virginia fan at that point because I'm a student there. And he does this, and the place is going absolutely wild. And I had to control myself. I couldn't say anything, I couldn't cheer, but inside I was super excited. This one is weird because West Virginia lost. Alabama was very good that season. They ended up dropping in the college football playoff to Ohio State in the semis, but it was a very good team. And even though we lost, I was very proud of West Virginia and the way they played that game. And I'll always remember this play for sure. One, because I was there and I couldn't say anything, and two, it was that incredible. So Mario Alfred going back to back on this list for number two for his kick return versus Alabama. So at number one, I have Will Greer and Gary Jennings Downing, Texas. This game was back and forth the entire time. You truly didn't know who was going to win until the very end. And it was a late November game. And at the time, West Virginia was in a Big 12 conference championship race. They fell short of that, but that doesn't defeat this moment. West Virginia fans will forever go back to this game and have a smile on their face because of what it meant and the excitement that this happened in this game. And then after they had that play, they had to get the 2-point conversion. So I added that in there as well because that was super important as well. So this was Will Greer's shining moment as a West Virginia Mountaineer. He was a great player. We're super grateful that he transferred to West Virginia, and it was a great play. So there you have it. That's my top 10 plays since 2011. Did I get it right? Did I get it wrong? Is there a play that I missed? Definitely let me know in the comments. Please like and subscribe if you haven't yet. Football season's only a few weeks away. Let's go Mountaineers.